So we all always talk about how voting in America is always choosing between the lesser of two evils, and the polls are just consistently showing that this year that's going to be the case more so than ever before. So in the last CNN poll among all general election voters, Trump had the highest unfavorables of anyone by far. He had 60% of voters say they have an unfavorable opinion of Trump. The second highest, and it's not even close between 2 and 3, was Hillary Clinton with 55%. 55% have an unfavorable opinion of Clinton compared to only 33% have an unfavorable opinion of Bernie and only 38% have an unfavorable opinion of Marco Rubio. Peter, what does it say about the state of our democracy when the two candidates we expect to be their respective party nominees are the two least popular people in the entire race?
It says we're horrible and that our country will be facing another 4 years of stagnation. We've reached a point where if you kind of sum things up, the presumptive Republican nominee talks about his dick on TV, and the party itself is trying to figure out some way to get rid of him. The presumptive Democratic nominee is under investigation by a number of federal agencies for a range of things which could reach as high as the Espionage Act. That's where we sit here in early March, is those two people, one of whom is likely to be president. So the fact that both of them carry such enormous negative baggage with them is not surprising. It's hard to imagine it isn't 100% for both of them. So we're once again in this kind of election cycle where people are going to vote defensively, which generally, I think, sends people home. They sit it out, and I guess historically that favors Republicans overall. But when fewer and fewer people are willing to participate in the process, it starts to stop looking a lot like democracy and starting to look like just some kind of circus that we run every couple of years before the oligarch, pre-chosen oligarch, sort of takes back the White House.
Eric, you're up there in your socialist utopia of Canada where you could just watch this and not have to worry about one of these people becoming your leader for the next 4 to 8 years. How does the rest of the world see us?
I think the world collectively, and not just Canada, is laughing at the United States right now. At first, we thought it was a comedy show, and we were laughing a little bit, having fun with it. But now we realize that the reality is about to come true, and it's quite scary, the fact that a person like Donald Trump, with all the insane, batshit crazy things he said, might actually get elected. Or, on the reverse, Hillary Clinton, who is the queen of flip-flopping, refusing to take a stance, is under investigation for her email scandal, might also get elected. I mean, what does it say about American politics? That it's an absolute gong show.
Well, and Mexico, by the way, yesterday voted to ban Donald Trump from the country. So that's how the
Mexico City, just
other
the city,
side.
not the
Okay, fair enough. Josh, what is all this? What does all this say about us?
I don't know if it's me just looking for a silver lining or what, but I think it's fucking great. I think it's great for American politics, and I'll tell you why. Because, all right, let's say the worst case scenario happens. Trump wins the election because it's Hillary, Bloomberg, and Trump. Hillary and Bloomberg split the resigned and settling vote. And Trump gets the zealots. And so you have President Trump who's, whipping his giant dick out all over the country. And you're going to probably see, there's going to be some snakes who go to the guy with the power and, try to get warm in his aura. But there's going to be people who are genuinely pissed, Republicans and Democrats, who will actually fucking work to try to stop him. So no, you don't get to interrupt my optimistic plan for America, Eric, with your Canadian negativity, with your traditional negative Canadian attitudes.
I agree that maybe the Congress and Senate will work together. What I'm worried about is his diplomatic relations with other countries. That is.
Well, first of all, you're right about that. That's actually that could suck a lot. But the thing is you have Trump in Congress. See, I don't think he'll even notice. I don't even think he'll take a meeting with the world leader, and the world will just probably want to sit it out because they don't want to be noticed by him. I'm half kidding.
All I can say,
but I'm just.
We have one thing one thing to look forward to. Hang on. One thing to look forward to, then I'll let you speak. Kanye West 2020.
Kanye West 2020 will. He's the hero we deserve and the hero we need.
Is white Kanye.
But I think it would. I think it would be an interesting sort of dynamic to have Congress and Trump at each other's throats, Trump attacking them on corporate money and them attacking Trump on everything else. That could be good for American democracy. Hillary Clinton, again, I guess I'm in love with her because I do not see her as anything more than a boring corporate centrist. Not as bad. It's just similar to Obama. I mean, I don't see, there's really no real difference between the two. I mean, again, except maybe an emotional one, which that's justified. But so, I mean, the fact that Hillary Clinton is so unliked, this might be the only way she could win. It's the only way she could win.
Would have aimed as high as Obama did, even though he failed a lot. He aimed pretty high, and I mean, he missed a lot, but he did. Hillary, from the beginning, just does not aim high.
You know, you're right, and that's a fair point. It would be interesting to see if she got in the office and continued her sort of strategy of not rocking the boat, make it through the next election. Or if she'd be in the Oval Office and be like, finally, and she would be genuine, whether it's in favor of Wall Street or in favor of populism, but she could be genuine for once. That could happen too. I'm saying that these, I know, Peter, I know.
No way. Her first day in office is her first day of the campaign for re-election.
See, now, this is the lesson this election is teaching us. And by us, I mean those of us who know about and understand politics better than most people. And that is to say that will never happen is not a thing that we can fucking say anymore. We can't. 6 months ago, it was obvious Trump was going to do this.
I think with Hillary we can.
I think with Hillary we have a little more certainty. Because a year ago she was the presumptive nominee, and now she is. She's a person who's all appetite. I mean, she's never satisfied. So being the first woman president isn't enough. She's got to be the first woman president who's reelected, which proves that, and then she's got to have to do something else to push,
change the Constitution, make a third term. I think that's a plan I've heard before.
Something like that. I mean, she's never done. And
it's nonsense, Peter. She is a boring centrist. Like she'll want to keep the job. She might want to create a legacy. She's not going to start a war. She's not going to wreck the economy.
She likes war.
She does enjoy a good war, I will admit. But she'll wag the dog a little, but she won't start it. Well,
she sent you to Iraq.
No, she didn't. President Bush's executive order calling an active ready reserve sent me to Iraq.
She voted in.
Keep the uniform handy because she'll find someplace for you. Don't worry.
My point is that I don't think that even with Trump, it's not nearly as dire as you guys seem to believe. And I understand why, because it feels like nothing matters. And shit's over.
Scenario with President Trump is good for our democracy, you said, because basically for the next 4 years we won't have a country.
No, I'm saying that the partisan sports team lines, the battle lines, will be fucking erased. They will be completely erased. It will be as close to a hard reset as we could have without the type of revolution that the blood of patriots that Jefferson thought should water that tree of liberty.
That's still 4 years of basically not having a functioning country.
First of all, we haven't had a functioning Congress since 2008. I mean, it's literally been the worst Congress you could possibly have. We almost defaulted on our debt. And here we are 2 years later. The economy's good. Jobs aren't bad. We come around. Like, that's kind of why America's cool. We come around even when we are run by fucking morons. So, I don't think it's nearly that dire. I think it's interesting, and I think it's more important for how the voters react. Because if the majority of American people see a guy like Trump and say no, America's going to be around for a very long time.
Let me just paint a quick picture. Let's picture Trump heading into a meeting with the Chinese. How the hell is that going to go?
He's going to go in there and he's going to say, "Welcome from China." He always says China.
All right. Well,
Look, it's terrifying. I'm going to put in a vote for Dyer. Just kind of lay down a marker. And assuming any of us are still, not in labor camps 4 years from now or being re-educated, I'm going to lay that marker down for Dyer.
Fuck that. Why do you think I'm defending her now? I'll see you. I'll be in the office like Peter. You're not working, Peter.
Yeah, I got my backup plan too. I'm learning Mandarin, so I'm going to be one of the overseers when the Chinese take over. You guys
cash in their loans.
I'm going to be like cracking the whip against your backs. Make iPhones faster.
All right. Well, that's the state of our American democracy. We'll be back next week, hopefully, unless we're in camps, and we'll talk about the 8,000 debates that they have scheduled for next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for rating Latest.com.